Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to another ATP video. So today we'll be talking about Mycobacterium tuberculosis, or as it's commonly referred to as TB. Now before we start, I would like to briefly talk about Mycobacteria itself. First of all, it's an obligate aerobic bacillus, which means it requires oxygen to grow. And that is why it makes sense for TB to prefer going to the lungs. Primary infection usually occurs in the lower or middle lobes of the lungs, while reactivated TB prefers the upper lobes, as it has a high VQ ratio. V stands for ventilation and Q stands for perfusion. This means there's a lot of extra O2 and ventilation present, and that is perfect for bugs like TB. Secondly, it's a facultative intracellular organism. This means they can live inside other cells when they need to. And one thing you need to always remember is that TB infects macrophages. TB is transmitted through inhalation, and that is how it gains access to your lungs. Most patients do not develop an active TB infection. Usually it either clears up or remains latent. Now for the clinical importance. TB gets into the alveoli, where macrophages phagocytose them. Usually, with most pathogens, macrophages would package them in phagosomes and fuse them with lysosomes, which would break it down, but that is not possible because of its various virulence factors. So, what happens instead is that TB starts to grow inside the macrophage. Eventually, it will kill the macrophage and it will spill TB into the lung. Few weeks later, the cell-mediated immunity kicks in, which is a Th1 response. CD4 T cells get activated and release of interferon gamma happens. Macrophages and cytotoxic T lymphocytes also get activated. Something else you must keep in mind is that this is a type 4 hypersensitivity reaction. All of this leads to formation of a granuloma, which essentially is an attempt of the immunity system to wall off the bacteria and prevent it from spreading. The tissue in the middle dies, leading to something called a caseating necrosis, or cheese-like necrosis. This is pretty disgusting. This area is known as the Ghon focus. These are usually subpleural and can be found in the mid to lower lobes of the lungs. TB can reach the nearby hilar lymph nodes as well and cause caseating necrosis there. So, the association of the lymph node with the caseating tissue is known as Ghon complex. The Ghon complex can undergo fibrosis and calcification and often produce a scar tissue. This calcified Ghon complex is known as Ranke complex. Now there are two scenarios that can happen. Either the immune system is